Hi, and welcome back to Easy English with Rosanna Roy on Bookmark Tutorials. This video is on active and passive voice, and in this video, I would like to share with you a few tips on how to construct and identify active and passive sentences in English. Now, before we begin, I want to thank you guys for your support and stay tuned to our channel for more such content. Let's start by looking at two sentences. Ria cooked dinner and dinner was cooked by Ria. We can see that both of these sentences convey the same meaning. So what is different here? The first sentence, which is Ria cooked dinner, is in the active form, and the second sentence, dinner was cooked by Ria, is in the passive form. Let's look at the three major components of these sentences. Ria, here which is the name of a person, is the subject. The subject is the doer of an action. Cooked is a verb or the action that is being done by the subject. And thirdly, we have dinner. Dinner is the object. The object is at the receiving end of the action here. The object is someone or something that is being affected by the subject when they do a certain action. We can see that the active sentence places the subject in the beginning of the sentence, whereas the passive sentence places the object in the beginning of the sentence. Let's look at some examples. Tom painted the entire house. The entire house was painted by Tom. Someone broke my coffee mug. My coffee mug got broken. The police arrested the robber yesterday. The robber was arrested yesterday. Mom read the novel in one day. The novel was read by Mom in one day. I will clean the house every Saturday. The house will be cleaned by me every Saturday. The company requires staff to watch a safety video every year. The staff are required by the company to watch a safety video every year. We can see that when we convert a sentence from active voice to passive voice, most of the time the object and subject have been interchanged. Right. Apart from that, let's see what other differences they have, and let's look at a comparison of active and passive sentences. The active voice emphasizes on the subject or the doer of the action, whereas the passive voice emphasizes on the object or the recipient of the action. For example, when we say Tom painted the entire house, which is in active voice, we are emphasizing on the subject, which is Tom. But when we convert this sentence into passive voice, we say the entire house was painted by Tom. Here the focus is on the object, which is the entire house. The passive voice focuses on the object. The subject in this case may or may not be known because it is not that important. It can even be omitted depending on the situation, because it is less important than the object here. For example, someone broke my coffee mug. This is the active form. When we say this in the passive form, we can say that my coffee mug got broken. Here, someone is the subject in the active form, which is omitted in the passive form because it's giving more importance to the fact that my coffee mug is broken and whoever broke it is unimportant. The passive voice emphasizes on the situation rather than whoever or whatever caused it. Since the active voice focuses on the subject and verb has to be known. But at the same time, the object can be unknown or omitted depending on the situation because it is not that important in the active voice. Another situation where the passive voice is used is when the subject is obvious and there is no need to mention them. For example, the police arrested the robber yesterday. This is the active form. In the passive form, we can say that the robber was arrested yesterday because it is obvious who arrested the robber. The active form is used when there is no object or passive form available. It is also used with intransitive verbs. For example, the audience laughed. Here we have only a subject and a verb and no object is available. Intransitive verbs such as laughed, smiled, clapped, occurred and so on cannot have an object, and without an object we cannot form a passive sentence. The passive voice makes use of got. Like in the earlier example, my coffee mug got broken. Or when we say I got hacked, my car got damaged, or my shirt got stolen. This mostly happens in informal speech. The active form is used more while speaking, whereas the passive form is used more in writing. While it is okay to use either form, it depends a lot on the context and what exactly you want to communicate. Let's take a look at the sentence structure of active and passive voice. The active voice will place the subject in the beginning of the sentence and the object will be placed at the end of the sentence. It's the opposite in the case of passive voice. It always places the object in the beginning of the sentence and the subject towards the end. The active voice follows the form subject plus verb plus object. For example, I will clean the house every Saturday. Here, I am the subject, or let's say the speaker is the subject. Clean is the verb here, and the house is the object. We can see that the positions of the object and the subject has been swapped in the passive voice. It follows the structure object plus form of verb to be plus past participle plus by plus subject. For example, the house will be cleaned by me every Saturday. Here, the house is the object, and will be is the form of verb to be. Cleaned is the past participle of clean, and me or the speaker here is the subject. We need to remember that the pronouns change their form in active and passive voice. Here I have given a chart of subject and object pronouns, and let's see how the voice change in voice affects the pronouns with this example. I painted the house. The active voice makes use of the subject pronoun I, whereas in the passive voice we say the house was painted by me. The passive voice makes use of the object pronoun me, as the place of the subject has been moved. Let's look at another couple of sentences. Tom filled the cans with water. The cans were filled with water by Tom. Here, were is the verb to be. It is in plural form because there is a mention of multiple cans of water. Let's look at another set of sentences. The mechanic fixed my car. My car was fixed by the mechanic. Here, the verb to be is in singular form because there is only one car. Let's see how tense comes into play in active and passive voice. I have given some examples. James writes the letters. The letters are written by James. James is writing the letters. The letters are being written by James. James has written the letters. The letters have been written by James. James wrote the letters. The letters were written by James. James was writing the letters. The letters were being written by James. James had written the letters, but it was too late. The letters had been written, but it was too late. James is going to write the letters. The letters are going to be written by James. James will write the letters. The letters will be written by James. James will have written the letters by then. The letters will have been written by then. We don't usually use the passive voice with the present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future continuous tense, and the future perfect continuous tense. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit like and also subscribe to our channel Bookmark Tutorials. I will be posting more such content. And do share your thoughts in the comments. I will be responding to your queries. Have a great day.